Welcome to Asian Ghost Story, where we bring you spine-chilling tales from across Asia that will make you question what lies beyond the veil of our everyday lives. Today's story takes us back to 2010 in Cano, Vietnam, during the grand opening of the newly constructed Cano Bridge. A day that was meant to symbolize progress and unity, but soon became a scene of horror that no one could ever forget. The story starts on a seemingly ordinary day when a young woman, accompanied by her cousins, decided to attend the opening ceremony of the Cano Bridge. Everything was festive, with laughter echoing across the massive structure, the sky filled with colorful decorations, and the crowd bustling with excitement. The air was electric with hope and pride, as the bridge represented a brighter future for the region, connecting communities and boosting the local economy. People were taking photos, children were running around with balloons, and vendors were selling delicious street food that filled the air with savory aromas. It was truly a day to remember. After the event, the young woman and her cousin began their journey back home, enjoying the cool night air as they rode down the road, chatting away and enjoying the sense of celebration. They talked about their future plans, their hopes and dreams, and how amazing it was to be a part of such a historic moment. The road was quiet, illuminated only by the faint glow of their motorcycles' headlights and the occasional street lamp. The joy of the day still lingered, and they felt a deep sense of connection to their hometown and to each other. But the ride took a strange turn when a mysterious young man appeared, following them closely all the way back to their home. At first, they thought he was just another traveler heading in the same direction, but soon it became clear that this was no coincidence. It wasn't just a random passerby. He was always right behind them, no matter how far they traveled. They eventually reached their house, and when questioned, the stranger smiled a cold, chilling smile and said he was simply captivated by their beauty and wanted to see where they lived. The encounter left everyone uneasy, but the young man soon left after making an unsettling remark. "Be careful with fate, for some may not make it past the age of 24. He gave one last eerie smile before disappearing into the dark, his words echoing in their minds like a sinister prophecy. Life seemed to return to normal after that night, but for the young woman, things were never quite the same. She began falling ill, experiencing high fevers and weakness that puzzled her family. Her laughter, once so bright and full of life, became rare, replaced by a distant, haunted look in her eyes. Even stranger, every night she would feel like someone or something was choking her in her sleep, only to wake up with no sign of any harm come morning. Her face became paler, her body weaker, yet each day she acted as if everything was fine, almost as if she was living in two worlds, one where she was haunted and one where she appeared normal. The family tried everything: visits to doctors, medication, traditional herbal remedies, but nothing seemed to help. It was as if something beyond the physical world had taken hold of her. Worried, her mother decided to take her to a temple, hoping the spiritual guidance there would ward off whatever dark force was plaguing her daughter. The monks at the temple performed rituals, chanted prayers, and offered charms for protection. For a short while, it worked. The young woman seemed to regain her health, her color returning to her face, her energy replenished. She smiled again, and her mother dared to hope that the worst was behind them. However, the moment they returned home, the illness came back. Worse this time, almost as if whatever entity that haunted her was angry at their attempt to escape. It was as if the darkness had followed them, waiting for the right moment to strike again. The nights grew more terrifying. Her mother, staying by her side, began to witness horrifying sights. A shadowy figure, a demonic presence, would sit on the young woman's chest, choking her as she slept. Its form was grotesque, with long, twisted limbs and eyes that seemed to glow with an unnatural red light. Her mother could see it. Its glowing red eyes, the way its long, dark fingers wrapped around her daughter's neck. Despite her fear, there was nothing she could do. The figure would vanish by morning, leaving no trace behind except the worsening health of her daughter. The family was at a loss, feeling helpless as they watched the young woman fade away, her life force being drained night after night. Desperate, they sought the help of a local shaman, who came to their home to perform a cleansing ritual. The shaman burned incense, chanted incantations, and sprinkled holy water throughout the house. He warned the family that the entity haunting the young woman was powerful and that it had attached itself to her, feeding off her energy. He gave them strict instructions to keep protective charms around her at all times and to never leave her alone at night. The family followed his advice diligently, but the shadowy presence seemed undeterred, growing bolder with each passing day. Things escalated until one fateful morning when the young woman, now a ghostly shadow of her former self, began behaving in a way that shocked the entire neighborhood. She walked from house to house, greeting her neighbors one last time, smiling faintly, as if she knew she wouldn't see them again. Her voice was calm, almost serene, as she spoke to each person, asking them to take care of themselves and their loved ones. Later that day, her mother found her lying in bed, her breath shallow. Rushing her to the hospital, they passed a large mirror in the hallway. The young woman glanced at her reflection and let out a strange, unnerving laugh. The next moment, the mirror shattered, the shards scattering across the floor like a bad omen. Within 15 minutes, she was gone. She had taken her last breath just after her 24th birthday, the ominous warning of the stranger that night coming true in the most tragic way. Her mother, heartbroken, later told the story of the young man who had followed them that night and the chilling warning he had given. The neighbors listened in stunned silence, the pieces of the puzzle falling into place. Was it fate, a curse, or something beyond human understanding? No one knew for sure. All they knew was that something had claimed her life, something dark and malicious, something that could not be escaped. The bridge, once a symbol of progress and hope, now stood as a grim reminder of the tragedy that had unfolded, a place where the past and the supernatural seemed to intertwine. Rumors began to spread throughout the town. Some claimed they had seen the young man again, standing on the bridge late at night, his eyes glowing in the darkness. Others said they could hear the young woman's laughter echoing across the water, a ghostly reminder of the life that was lost too soon. The once bustling bridge now seemed haunted, its cheerful atmosphere replaced by an eerie stillness. People avoided crossing it at night, afraid of encountering the same fate as the young woman. Her story became a cautionary tale, a reminder that there are forces in this world that we may never fully understand. Thank you for joining us on Asian Ghost Story. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another haunting story. Until next time, stay safe and remember, some roads are better left untraveled, and some warnings should never be ignored.